doing? Okay, I got him.
What do you mean?
Goodbye.
Hang up.
Goodbye.
What do you mean?
Give me the
Can
papers.
I say hi to Jax?
No.
Look, you see that kid step forward. He was like, look, Mom, please, let me see my dad. Like, he was, like, ready to go. He wanted to go see his dad. I at least want to give my dad a hug. Watch what she does.
Drove all the way out here.
Bye.
Look,
Tiff, what are you doing? Stop.
Tell him how you...
look, y'all see that? She shoved her elbow in his face.
I love you, bud.
I sure did not, because I
Not
shouldn't.
really.
I told her since she won't let me spend Thanksgiving with you guys.
I know.
I'm not
And I spent
getting
every
notified the day
holiday
before.
with
And
you.
You did it. Gonna keep doping him up, or what are we gonna do? Try something different?
You can leave.
Mom,
I just
I
asked
want
you what-
him
Yeah,
to take
geez.
me.
I'm not discussing this in front of
I know,
Jackson.
I'm just saying, but
What, Mike?
I'll have him back
Let's go
Sunday.
now.
Gerald said you won't let me see him.
If you saw my last video, I did promise that I was going to try to get this up by Tuesday at the latest. And typically, I don't really like to make promises that I don't intend to keep, and I did intend to keep that. Unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties that I had to take care of in order to even do this. So, regarding my computer and the internet and stuff like that. So, got it fixed. So here we are. And so in this one, we've got, you see the title, it says Baby Mama Drama, You Got Served. And the reason I wanted to do this one today, I've mentioned in several of my other videos that when mothers try to alienate a child from the dads, it's the kids who end up paying for it. In one video, you actually got to see how happy some of the kids were with their dads. And the reason I wanted to do this one is because you can actually see and hear how upset the child is with his mom. And the other reason I wanted to do this is because apparently there's a court order in place. And that means this has been to court, and this is what the judge decided. This custody arrangement that they have is what was decided. And oftentimes, this is how it turns out. Because, like, they'll play nice. And I mentioned actually in the last video, you know, that they take advantage of the system. And they really do. And so they'll go in there and they'll play nice, like that they're a concerned parent that is just trying to do what is best for the child. Judges just buy right into it. I can't explain why. It's just ridiculous how naive they are to fall for all of that. And then as soon as the case closes, they go to being the bitter baby mom, you know. So let's dive into this one, and so you can see what's going on, and we'll break it down as we go.
It is the 11th day of December at 6:57 p.m. We're about to go serve Tiff. No car, that's not a good sign. Okay. Have to serve Tiff these papers. It's my first time serving someone. Jax!
No! What the fuck are you doing? Okay, I got him.
Look, alright, just real quick. I don't know if y'all heard it on my end. When he said Jax, I heard the kid say Dad, and you can hear how excited he was. And as soon as the kid did, the mom was like, No, no, no. Like no, you cannot go into the door even though your dad is on the other side. Like that's already a bad start. Like I mean, apparently this has been going on for a while. That if he feels the need to show up, himself to serve her. Obviously this has been going on for a while. But I mean, that really, just right off the bat, you can see how much this woman actually wants to keep that child away from him. And based on how excited he already sounded just hearing him on the other side of the door, as I've stated in other videos, it's obviously not because the child is being mistreated.
Well, what do you mean?
Goodbye.
Hang on.
No. Goodbye.
What do you mean? What do you...
Give me the
Can
papers.
I say hi to Jax?
No.
Look, he's like, look, well, can I at least see my kid? No, I've got the papers. Goodbye. No, you cannot see him. Just a little bit. Like, give me some time. 10 minutes. No. She can't even give the boy he can't even give the boy a hug. No. I got the papers. Goodbye. You cannot see your son. Bye. You can see him. Here he is. Now, bye. You can't touch him. That's messed up, dude.
You just drove all the way out here.
Bye.
Tiff, what are you doing? Stop.
Tell him how you stole from
Did y'all see that? Let's rewind that. Just one. Alright, now just watch. Watch what she does when he tries to step by her to get to his dad.
Hi to Jax.
No.
We just drove all
Look, you see her put that arm up? Right in his face.
the way out here.
Bye.
Tiff, what are you doing? Stop.
Tell him how you...
And shoved him into the door. You seen that? I mean, she put her arm up in his face and shoved him into the door. And look at him. He's looking up with his arm up like, dude, what the hell? And all he wanted to do was go give his dad a hug. And she went to that extreme to stop him. And this is how far women will go to keep kids away from the dads, and after the judge has made his ruling, thinking that this woman is going to do what is in the best interest of the child. Somehow this is considered the child's best interest.
You stole from me again.
What? Hang on. Stop.
No.
Okay, stop.
Don't you ever open my door.
Look, alright, so she just knocked him down. Just pushed him into the door. Obviously he hit his head on the door because he's holding the back of his head and crying. And then she's screaming at him. And all because he wanted to give his dad a hug.
Hey, stop.
Like that.
Okay, stop. Jax, come here. Come here, man.
And don't just say that you're coming.
No, I was. What do you mean? I messaged.
Don't just say, leave my family out of this.
I just messaged him.
Leave my family out of this.
No, I just don't.
Leave my family.
Look, you hear that kid? He said, why are you always mean to him? And like I said in the beginning of this video, this is why I wanted y'all to see this one, because this is how this stuff affects the kids. And the kids are the reason I do this. And for the injustice that men have to deal with in family court, but mainly for the kids. Because, like I always say, they're the ones who are paying for it. And this kid's crying, yelling at his mom, why do you always have to be mean to him? Why can't I see my dad? Why can't he even give him a hug? I gotta get slammed into a door trying to give my dad a hug. And you're still sitting here screaming at me and him.
I didn't have a way to get a hold of you.
I don't fucking care. Leave my family out of
You're
this.
supposed to have a number.
Leave my family out of this. You don't let me give you school your number or anything, and I'm refusing you records and everything else.
Yeah.
You want records? Get a birth certificate and get a
Okay,
social
yeah, I
security
need that. I need that stuff. Come here, can you hug his brother? Jeez.
Alright, for one, he is right. If there is a court order in place, both parties are supposed to have a working phone number at all times to be able to get a hold of the other parent. So that is true. But you know, she was like, well, I'm denying you the birth certificate and the social security number and this and that and the school records and stuff like that, which he's entitled to. He's the dad. He's entitled to that. He has just as much right or access to those documents as she does. And she said, I'm denying you all of it. Like, she is literally trying her best to shut this man out of that kid's life. And regardless of why they broke up, it really does not matter why they broke up. If that's why she's mad, she's okay. It's okay for her to be mad about that. But she's taking it out on the kid. That's who's paying for it. And that's who she's punishing, is the child, because even the child wants to see his dad and can't.
We haven't seen each other.
Really not.
Why?
I can't remember.
No, really not.
Well, when can I come get him? Because, I mean...
Wednesdays.
What do you mean Wednesdays?
Wednesdays.
Well, alright, if we're going to wait till after the 22nd, that's when we go to court. I'll just have it ordered that I get him for Christmas or
Oh,
whatever.
not really.
Hey!
Really?
Look, alright. As I mentioned in the beginning, women will abuse the court system. And the courts really allow them to do it because they always rule in favor of the woman. And this dude says, alright, well, if you're going to wait till after we go to court to let me see my son, I'm going to ask that I get him on Christmas as well. And she said, no, not really. No, not going to happen. And women have that attitude because they already know when they get to court, chances are the judge is going to side with her. Even if he doesn't. They still go in there with that mindset because it's so common that the judge sides with the woman. Even in my case, I actually heard that to where she told me that she can go in there and get whatever she wanted to because she's the mother. She said, this is the mother state. She said, I can go in there and get whatever I want. I don't have to give you anything. And even though I come out of there with 50-50, that's the way they go in there with. And this is what we have to go through. And the problem with this is like I said, there's obviously already a court order in place, which means they've already been to court, and the judge decided that the current visitation schedule that they have now is the way it's going to be. So now, because she's not even following that, this man has to pay more money for more attorney fees and more court fees, and they have to go back and forth to court, which means he's got to miss time at work. And he's got to do all this a second time around just to get the ruling he should have gotten in the first place.
Why can't I have
really.
him? That's crazy.
Tell your dad that you're stealing and not listening
What
to
are you
me.
stealing from? Because you need to be with your dad for a little bit, don't you?
Not really.
I'll tell your dad that you're stealing and you're not listening to me. This is probably why he's not listening to you. And then the dude said, well, you know, he acting like that because he wants to see his dad. And again, she said, no, not really. How are you going to speak for this child when he's clearly saying, I want to see my dad? Obviously, that is the reason. She still said not really. Like, she is just being bitter as hell. And she's doing it right in front of the kid, even though the kid is begging her to stop.
I love you, bud.
I sure did not, because I
Not
shouldn't.
really.
I told her since she won't let you spend Thanksgiving with you guys.
I know.
Because I'm not
And I spent
getting
every
notified the day
holiday
before.
with
It's
you.
not
didn't
your
know
business.
it was not?
It's not your business. I'm not discussing it in front of him.
Okay.
So
It wasn't.
And this kid just said, he's like, I tried to let her, let me go spend Thanksgiving with you guys, but she wouldn't let me. And then he looked at his mom, the boy did, and said, I spend every holiday with you. This kid is trying just as hard to see his dad as the dad is to see him, and this woman is just doing everything she can to not let that happen. So when the courts look at these cases, how do they not know that this stuff happens? How do they not spend more time considering what the ruling is going to be? Especially if the guy goes in there, because the thing about it is, it's hard for a guy to go in there and say that this is how she is, even if that's how she is. Because the way the judge is going to see it is that you're bashing her. You come in there with the sole purpose of bashing her, even if you're telling the truth. So he's not going to buy it, because he's going to think you're bashing her. And he's going to punish you for that. And then it turns out that you were telling the truth the whole time. Now you got to go back to court and show them all this stuff and be like, I told you. But through all that time, the kid is suffering for it the most. The dad's suffering too because he can't see his kid, but this is going to greatly affect the child's mental and emotional state as he gets older, the longer he has to go through this. It's all because the judge didn't believe the man when he tried to tell him this is how she is. That's not fair to the kid. It's not fair to the dad. The court made the ruling anyway.
It wasn't the
Yeah,
day before.
You guys can leave.
Well, it wasn't the day
You're
before,
not
Tiff.
jacking
It
It's
was.
not Thursday.
What do you mean?
It's not Wednesday.
Well, I know, but I got to drive 2 hours, so I'm
Too
not
bad.
describing.
You're the one that chose to move to Madison.
Well, okay, well, it's fine.
Come
I'm
on,
just. I
Jax.
don't want to fight. Can we just see him for a second?
Nope.
Go for a walk.
Now, this dude drove 2 hours just to serve these papers, and he's begging, like, just like, let me go for a walk. Let me spend 5 minutes with him. No, 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 no. And then when he said, I drove 2 hours, she said, that's not my fault. You moved over here. And a lot of people move to other places for better job opportunities. And he actually stated earlier in this video that he was getting a new job. So maybe that's why he moved there, was for a better job opportunity, making more money. A lot of people do that. But she was like, too bad, I didn't tell you to do that. Well, that's what I had to do because I'm trying to better my life so that I can provide for my child. But he can't even, like, see his kid for 5 minutes after a 2-hour drive. And like I said a minute ago, it seems to me like he decided to serve her to give himself a reason to be there so that he can actually see his kid that she's not letting him see.
No.
Mom, give me my tablet.
No.
How's school been going?
Oh,
Tell
wow.
them how school's going, Jackson.
A little bit of good.
Pulling Kelsey's hair,
Right.
hitting teachers, scratching teachers.
Ow.
You know, the
Well-
normal excuses, making everybody else to blame for his
I
actions.
mean, so what is so?
Wow. Dude. Honestly, dude, she seems to be bashing the kid just as much as she's bashing the dad. Like, she ain't said one good thing about this kid to this man. He asked about school. She said, oh, he's fighting and acting up or pulling some kid's hair, biting and scratching the teachers and stealing from her and not listening to her. Like, not one good thing has come out of her mouth regarding that child or anything, really. It's all negativity. Even about her own son. This guy seems to care more about that kid than she does. And she's the one with full custody. Make that one make sense.
So what is the ultimate plan? Like, what are we planning to do? Are we just gonna keep doping him up, or what are we gonna do? Try something different?
You can leave.
Mom,
I'm just
I
asking
want
what-
him
Yeah,
to take
geez.
me.
I'm not discussing this in front of
I know.
Jackson.
I'm just saying, but
I
that's
spent
a.
every holiday with
We'll
you, Mom.
discuss this at court. Let's go.
Okay.
No.
Well, we love Jax. We want to
Let's
see it.
go.
He said, I spent every holiday with you. Can't let me just go with him. She said, no. Like, and you hear all the things that they're talking about. They're talking about, you know, the phone numbers and just a whole bunch of other, him moving, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? The one thing she will not talk about is letting this kid go with his dad. That's the one thing she will not talk about. She's not going to talk about that until they go to court. And there's no telling how long this man has been without seeing that kid. Because courts take a long time to finally get through the steps and, to actually get to the hearing. You got, first appearances, then you got the second appearance or the, status conference, and then you've got the hearing. And those are usually spread out at least a month or two apart. You know what I mean? So there's no telling how long this man has been without seeing his kid. It's clearly a long time because even the kid is saying, I spend every holiday with you. I never get to see my dad. I want to go with my dad. And the court gave that woman the decision to decide whether or not the choice to decide whether or not this kid could go with his dad. And her answer is always no. And the court gave her that permission.
Everyone's
wanna
waiting on
see
him.
him.
Baby's waiting and Hannah's
Yeah, I want
waiting.
to see my dad
And
for a
don't
little
act
bit.
like you're your sister. Either.
What do you mean?
I want to
I don't.
see
I have
Don't
my
text
own
my
phone.
phone.
I don't have a phone to text.
Can we say subject change? Oh, and don't act like your sister. I think what she means is don't text me from your sister's number acting like her. If it's you, just say it's you. But again, I mean, she checked, like, they were talking about when he can see the kid, when they, and she said, I'm not going to talk about it, and then she changed the subject. So, like I said, she would literally talk about everything else but that. Even if the kid is begging for it. It's no wonder the kid is not listening to you. Look at how you're acting.
You don't have a number to give me.
Really? How did your sister get my number then?
That one?
No.
Which one?
The
980?
the different state phone.
Ma, I
You gave that. You called
I
me.
didn't.
No, you called me
No,
on
I
Thanksgiving.
didn't.
Yes, you
No,
did.
I didn't. I called you like my uncle.
Okay, well, we don't know. You called me from a weird number.
So you got a completely different phone number. How?
I don't know.
Bullshit.
I-
Jackson, get in the house.
No!
Get in the house.
Hey!
He wants to see his pop.
No, and he's gonna take off before school and miss the bus so the truant officer can come and pick him up.
Well, why would they pick up?
Oh, come on. Y'all know that was an excuse. Oh, what? You're going to take off before school, before the bus comes, and so that he doesn't go to school, and the truant officer can come out here after one day? Really? Kids miss school all the time. They'll be like, oh, he's not here today. Okay, there's one kid that's absent. They don't call a truant officer unless the kid hasn't been there for like a couple of weeks. They don't call the truant officer. And that's after they've made multiple attempts to get a hold of you and haven't been able to. But they're not going to do it on one day. So she's literally coming up with any and every excuse that she can think of, regardless of how lame it is, just to say no. Just to give her a reason to say no. And she is mean as hell to this dude, like, in front of the kid. The kid is hearing this. And in the beginning, you heard him say, why are you always yelling at him? Why are you always being mean to him? And she's still going on. And all of this in front of not one, but two kids.
Go up to say he's with his dad.
Yeah. Give me
They
my jacket,
came
Mom.
here
Oh.
to pick him up.
And where was he?
He's not going with you tonight.
Well, I know, obviously, because you didn't get my message for the last 2 weeks.
You're not taking him on a school night.
I know
Come
that.
on.
I understand. I knew you were
No,
going to say
and
that,
you
but
have one night off a week. Maybe you should make that Wednesdays.
I do. I
Jackson,
have Wednesday
in the
and
house.
Thursday off.
In house.
But I'm getting a new job, so it's gonna
In
be-
house.
But I stopped at child support today, and I gave them my new
And?
the
I want
address
to
to
have my
the.
jacket and leave.
And I'm telling you, I'm saying I took the address
You're
to them
not
so that they
leaving.
can.
See, this man is even trying to co-parent with her. He's asked about, when she was talking about the problems that he was having in school. The guy said, well, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? She said, I'm not discussing that with you. That's none of your business. And then he's trying to be nice and say, hey, just to let you know, I did go by the child support office and gave him my new address and all that, so that now you're going to be able to get child support. And she's still being mean about it. I mean, and that's why I don't understand how courts are so naive to believe that this does not happen, because this is not a one-time deal. This is not a rare occurrence. This happens everywhere. And I'm sure any man watching this video can vouch for that.
And you'll start getting child support.
You're not leaving. You still have to fill out all that expenses and stuff.
What do you mean?
I have to fill out all these expenses.
I know. Well, either way, we'll handle all that when we go on the 22nd. But
Let's go.
Jacket.
No.
we miss you,
No.
bud.
Well, it's not even, it's kind of.
All he'd have to do is miss one day.
No.
What much?
I'll have him back
Let's go
Sunday.
now.
Gerald said you won't let me see him.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm not your mom. Okay, so.
But what's it gonna hurt?
Conversation.
It's one less.
Get in the house.
What's one less day that he gets?
See, I mean, like a minute ago, her complaint was that he doesn't listen to her, and he's been acting out in school. And I mean, you hear him acting out right now. And why is he acting out? Because she won't let him see his dad, and he's clearly saying that's why. He said, it's your fault because you're not letting me see him. You can literally hear this kid acting out because of that. So now you know why he's not listening to you. Now you know why he's acting out in school. is because you're acting like this every time he wants to see his dad, or every time his dad wants to see him, and every time you two are around each other, you can't stop this attitude. You can't just let bygones be bygones. Whatever caused the breakup, just let it be. Because it's not about that anymore. If y'all are co-parenting, it's not about your relationship. It's about the kid. And he seems to be the only one that gets that. And yet the court gave her full custody.
It's written up.
Get in the house.
I'm gonna blow my head up.
Hey, don't say that, because then they're going to put you in the loony bin, dude. You already know how that goes. Come on, man.
In the house.
You don't want to be in the fucking cuckoo's nest again, do you?
In.
Y'all hear that? He said, you don't want to be in the cuckoo's nest again. This kid has already been to the mental institution because of this. It's already been once. Which means he's probably medicated as well. Because of this. This is what her actions did. The court put that child in her care, and this was the outcome. Is that he has already been in the mental institution because of what she is putting him through. So why does the dad not have custody of this kid? Why does the dad not have full custody of this kid? Because this girl, if she's going to act like that, to the point where it drives the kid so crazy, he's got to be institutionalized, that is someone who does not need to be alone with kids.
The house.
Mom!
Can we just give him a hug? Can we say goodbye to him for a sec? Can you close the door? We'll just all
No.
have a brother, son,
No.
dad chat.
Okay, well, I need my jacket. I want to go.
You're not going with your dad.
What? That's not. It's your
No.
fault. It's all your fault for not letting me see him.
It's my fault?
You could.
I don't think
You
so.
could have let me see him on Thanksgiving.
Look, she's yelling at the kid. It's my fault? I don't think so. Like, she got mad at that. Yes, it's your fault. Because he's trying to go see his dad now, and you're saying no. So, yes, it's your fault.
Mom's here.
More like it's your dad's fault for being in jail 6 or 7 months out of the year.
6. What do you mean? I was in jail for 2 months.
Manitowoc and then here.
That
really?
was 2 weeks in Manitowoc
No.
and then 2 months
Yeah.
here.
Again, she will literally talk about everything else except for letting this kid go spend time with his dad. And really, you're not supposed to badmouth the other parent in front of the kid. And that is all she has done throughout this entire video, ever since they opened the door. That's all she has done.
I'm still waiting on that money.
So what do you?
I need a.
In the house.
No, I need my.
Now.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, why are you bringing up
He's
all
not
that?
missing.
Why would you? No, I'm just saying. Why would you bring up all that stuff?
I want to.
Jax, don't talk back to your mom, but you can give us a hug for a minute. We're gonna have a little group hug, all right? We haven't seen him in ages.
I haven't.
Jeez. I love you guys.
I wish we could go see a movie sometime.
I know, we need to do something. We don't ever get to do nothing.
Yeah.
You're in this dreary old town. You gotta come to the city of lights. Where everything's shucking and jiving.
Let's go.
Hey. Oh, you worried? I got my F1 to answer you.
Come on.
No, because your mom won't let me use the bathroom, so I have to drive
Come
home in it.
on.
Well, this sucks.
And thanks for just showing up.
Tiff,
Because now I can deal with him all night like this.
What, Tiff, I
Get in the
got a
house.
hold of them and I told
Look, alright, now, when she's trying to end this conversation, she's going to try to put the blame onto the dude for showing up. And she said, now I'm going to have to deal with him like this. You wouldn't have to if you let him go with his dad. That ever crossed your mind?
In the house.
Why is it his fault for not letting me
all I did was to hit your family.
Even the kid understood that. Even the kid understood that, and this girl doesn't get it. Even the kid said, how is it his fault that you won't let me see him? How is that his fault? The kid understands that. So she's trying to manipulate the situation and put the blame on him as if it was his fault. And even the kid is smart enough to understand that that's bullshit. And the court believes it though. A 12-year-old don't buy that shit, but a court does.
Up to give them my number. That was it.
I'm done. We'll see you I'll see you at court. Let's go.
Jeez, Jax wants to see his dad. That's why he's acting up,
Come on.
obviously, because
No,
he
it's
comes
not.
by us and he's an
That's his
angel.
mom.
Let's go.
It is.
See? And I pointed that out. I said that's probably why he's acting up, is because you're not letting him see his dad. And it makes sense, because he clearly is begging this woman to let him go with his dad. And he's clearly aggravated at the fact that she just simply refuses to let this dude have anything to do with his kid. And it's really sad to me for both the man and the kid, you know, because I know how devastated I was when I had to go 2 months without seeing my kid. Fortunately, at that time, my kid was not old enough to understand the situation like this kid is. Unfortunately for this kid, he is well aware of the situation, and he's well aware of who is at fault for these decisions, for him not being able to see his dad. And so, I mean, it's just a messed up situation. And this is why I wanted y'all to see it, because this, if you're a baby mother who is alienating your child from the biological father who wants to be there, if your kid's not to this age yet, this is what you can expect when they get older. Because you can badmouth, like this woman right here is trying to do, you can badmouth that man all you want to, but you cannot break that bond that them two have. Alright? And so the child is not going to end up believing you. They're going to end up resenting you. And once he becomes of age, or old enough to where the court will let him decide where he wants to live, he's going to choose his dad because of the way you're acting or have been acting this whole time. And but even then, that's going to put a lot of mental stress on the kid. And that's going to be a whole lot of mental stress. And by the time he's old enough to decide he wants to go live with his dad, that could still have some, that could still cause some complications in the future. Depending on how much stress was put on it. And in this case, the kid's already been to the institution once. So, I mean, how good do you feel about his chances if the child has to stay with her? And I really do. I doubt they are, but I really do hope that there's a judge or a family lawyer watching this. If you are, please just comment, I'm a judge or I'm a lawyer. And because this is the stuff you need to be seeing. Because as I stated before in one of my other videos, something I told my lawyer when we went through my custody battle, because neither one of them wanted to understand our situation and how extreme our situation was. Like I said, when a man comes in there talking or saying certain things about the mother, the court is not going to believe it. They're going to see it as you're bashing the mother, even if everything you're saying can be proven. They're not going to pay attention. They don't want that proof. And the lawyers, most of the time, do not want to present that evidence because that's how it's going to be perceived. And so nobody wants to step on that. You know what I mean? And this is why I say if you're a lawyer or a judge, you need to watch this. But like I said, like what I told my lawyer was that when this is over, because he didn't want to go for what I was asking for. He wanted to settle. And most of the time, family attorneys that are representing single fathers, or most of the time they're gonna encourage their clients or their male clients to take a deal, because even they know that judges are not going to rule in his favor. They know this. They know the deal is his best chance of getting somewhat similar to what he wants. In my case, I was literally going for my son's best interest and his safety. And it was not, no one listened, no one believed me. As a result, he went through way more than he should have ever had to, and still going through it because nobody still wants to believe it, even though there's plenty of evidence to back everything up. They don't want to hear it. This is why I say y'all need to pay attention. I really do hope that a family attorney or a judge comes across this. Because I've stated to my lawyer, and I will state it over and over again, when that day comes, when the hearing comes, it's over for you. It's over for the judge. It's over for the lawyers involved. It's just the beginning for the mother, the father, and the child. And your ruling, in a bad ruling, means the child suffers. This, in my opinion, was a bad ruling to give her full custody over him. Because I'm sure he probably went in there and saying, look, this is how she is. She's very aggressive, hostile, da-da-da-da-da. And that should be perceived as a bad thing for a parent to be when it comes to the well-being of a child. Because if a man is that way, if a man is aggressive, if he has a temper, a judge is not going to want to leave the child with him because they're going to feel like that aggressive dad is going to hurt the child. Yeah, women can be as aggressive as they want to be, and they're like, oh, well, she's the mother, she's not going to hurt him. Bullshit. If you believe that, you don't need to be a judge. If you believe that, you do not need to be a lawyer on any level, especially when it comes to decisions involving kids and their best interests. If you believe that, you don't need to be deciding your kid's fate. After everything you've seen, that's why I say I hope y'all as an attorney or judge are watching this, because these are the things that happen. And believe me, as bad as this is, there are cases out there that are way, way worse. Or that are much, much worse. And the longer y'all refuse to believe this happens, the more kids that are going to pay for it. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to end it there. That's pretty much all of it. He ends up going back inside and he gets pretty mad. Understandably so. But unfortunately, I don't know how it all played out. Hopefully, I really do hope that the man ended up with full custody. Because just in my opinion, based on what I see here and what I've seen in cases that I have come across in the past, because I've come across a lot of them that I have not put into video. I just picked out certain ones that I feel like I can make points on and stuff like that. There's some that are so bad that I won't even risk putting them on YouTube because I don't want to get any kind of strikes. But the situations are that bad. That's why I say if there's a judge or a lawyer watching this, if you don't believe that this stuff happens, get out of that business because you're going to hurt more kids. You're going to cause more kids to get hurt. But as I stated in the beginning, I do apologize for not keeping my promise. I did promise to try to have this up by Tuesday. Like I said, technical difficulties set that back. But if you did make it this far, I do appreciate you watching the whole video. I appreciate that support. And if you're new, if you did like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. If you've already subscribed, still hit the like button. I appreciate all of the support. And I will see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a good one.